Hey, Soul Tribe, it's the Joy Healer Kathy Weiss here. I use my gifts as an intuitive, clairvoyant, and source energy channel to help people like you find deep fulfillment and lasting freedom at the level of your soul, which is joy. And I am here with your weekly energy reading for the week of August 16th through the 22nd, 2020. And man, that felt like a mouthful today. And we have got lots of really great things in store this week. It is a continuation a little bit from last week into this, but there is still, it feels a little bit like a flowing wave as far as the level of intensity of what's happening in our individual lives and our collective lives. And I'm going to get all into that, but I'm really strongly hearing like that we need to do a little bit of energy healing, which we didn't have so much last week. So let's just take a moment to get into like soothing and settling that out. And I do have here a little piece of raw citrine. You're probably not going to see the color of it super well because it's raw. So it's like the colors haven't not been heightened, but it's kind of a beautiful gold-ish color crystal. This one looks a little bit white, like I said, because it hasn't been like rubbed to a shine, but it just feels in its raw state to me today a little bit more potent and powerful than the types that have been polished, which I also have, but this one just like screamed at me. And it really helps to support motivation and creativity and sort of this like forward momentum and progress in our lives. And that's going to really come into play. And I don't know if you can hear, but one of my co-healers, Maisie, is out there saying hello to us today. So she's sending her love also. Let's do some energy healing, yeah? So if you would like to receive, all you need to do is have your hands open. You can like this right towards the camera, on your lap, by your side body. If you're newer and you're not quite sure, or just whatever, hands can be down on your body or soft, gentle fists at your sides, and that's enough to close you off from this type of energy healing. So what I do is I just take a moment and I connect to divine white light that's flowing down through the crown of my head. And I'm allowing that light to make its way down my arms and out through my hands. It's moving slow today. This is good. It's just now at my wrists and gathering some intensity. And now leaving out through my hands, and very similar, that sort of like light golden white light, very similar to the citrine that I just showed you. Because what I am hearing is that many of us do need a sense of motivation and accessing our creativity this week, and sort of that inner courage and drive to take the energy from last week and pull it forward into the coming week ahead. There's a sense of real warmth happening in my hands, and I can feel it heating up in my face as well. That's really common for me. So know that this is like a really warm, like gooey, like I don't know, I can't describe it. It just feels like really warm and slow and like comforting in a way, like safe. That of all the things that are going to be asked of you in the coming week, you're safe and capable. You're smart, you're creative, and resourceful. That healing is complete. Man, like right at the end, smart, creative, and resourceful. That is you. And you can handle it, because what happened last week, as a reminder, or in case you missed last week's energy reading, we had this energy of like, out of the blue change, things that felt like they came out of nowhere. They weren't entirely unexpected, but it was sort of like, oh my gosh, here it is right now. Okay, ready, set, go. And this week, what I have a sense of is that following that, like this, like a wave, like what happened? We're sort of settling down, and I have this. It's a combination of image and sounds of a combination lock, like the kind with the couple of numbers across the top, that the tumblers have spun into place and clicked in. And it's sort of like, ah. okay, home, settled, here's the stuff. And now this is the week where we got out of the like what's happening phase, and now we're like, okay, this this is happening, and let's proceed with calm, let's proceed with ease, let's proceed with resourcefulness and ingenuity and courage and all of those beautiful things. So I feel like this week may not be so intense energetically, although some of the real world actions that we get called to might feel new or unfamiliar or chaotic, which will come up in the guided in the channeled message in just a second. It might feel that way externally, but internally, it's just this sense of like, yeah, but this is the way forward, and this is how we get home. And as a matter of fact, we're already home, and this is how we improve the feeling of home. Oh my God, that's it. Oh, you guys, I was not entirely sure like what the whole deal of this week's messages was, and that was it. It's like we got the feeling of home, and now we're rooted in home, and we get to improve home and make it even better. Oh my God. This is going to be such an awesome week. And I believe in you, and I know that you have what it takes to really root into those feelings and like just flourish and shine. This is like a flourishing, shining, but very calm sort of week. So the channel messages this morning, I felt like they were a little bit like, I'm like even backing away. I'm like, I felt like part of it was weird. But once I kind of like settled in to it and like took a minute to absorb the information, it made more sense because, like sometimes the energy as I'm translating it, I'm doing the best I can to put words onto something that doesn't have words. And the things that I hear, I'm like, what what is that all about? But this we'll work it out if it's confusing. Okay, so when I channel, I write things down because I'm hearing 1 to 4 words at a time, and I need to write it down and capture it, otherwise it's gone. Maybe somebody else grabs it, I don't know. But here we go for this week. It says, like a combination lock, the tumblers have spun and clicked into place. Got that. It feels like, home again, or a temporary new home, safe and secure, with plenty of chaos. Yay! That seems both familiar and fresh. Stories to be told, dishes to be sold. We're going to work that one out. Clear the way out of the cobwebs and make new space a clear path, a new way of being that better serves your truth and your heart. This is the new, the out of the blue that you have been given. Proceed with it, dear ones. It is the very thing you asked for. And I'm definitely feeling like super hot again. So it's like wake, like, ooh. So super good information. I think I need to put like a little fan up here. Would that be weird if I had a fan, you guys, and it like blew my hair all sexy while I was channeling the messages for you? Okay, anyway, so this part about stories to be told and dishes to be sold, and that there is chaos that is both fresh and familiar. So if you think about being in a home, most homes have got like some mess going on and some things that need to be cleared out at all times. We live a very abundant life, you guys, and there is almost always clutter and things that could get cleared out. And that's what dishes to be sold really means. It doesn't mean like you're actually going to get your dishes out of the cabinet and sell them, although potentially you might. But it's more like there are things in our homes or in our lives, not even our physical home, but perhaps in our lives that we need to clear out to move on and tell these new stories. And that chaos is sort of like the framework that we use to be able to do that. It's like out of the chaos that's really familiar, can we clear up some things in order to move on? And there was something I wanted to go back. Yeah, like clear things out and create a new path or a new space or a new way of being. It's like the thing that you asked for, the thing that came in, that's your thing right now, and all things are temporary. And can you be like in this place of like creating what you need in order for that to really hold true. I feel like there's a lot of individual information that I could give. It's a little bit hard on the collective. So hit me up, thejoyhealer.com, if you want an individual message. I'm hearing maybe we're going to go live on Facebook at Kathy Weiss, the Joy Healer, and pull some cards this week. We haven't done that in a really long time. But I think we might need to get out the Mad as a Hatter teacup hat and have a couple of live card pulls. Yeah, I'm not sure what day because I gotta check my calendar. Thank you, Source and Spirit Guides, for telling me we need to do that without checking the calendar first. But stay tuned for that. So on Facebook, Kathy Weiss, the Joy Healer, will have some live card pulls to get some individual guidance on that. This is Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom by Dr. Christiane Northrup, and I chose it because it has a little bit of a softer energy to it than many of the other decks that I have. And like, even though like in the reading today the energy is rising and falling a little bit, the overall energy of the coming week is one that is really calm. It's actually, with all of the stuff, it's just feels so good and so homey. So that's why I picked this softer deck. And this is Enlightened Heart and Mind, Channel Clearly. And I just feel like this lovely, oh, okay. Number one, she's got the owl sitting on her shoulder there, which is always the sign and symbol for wisdom. And this wisdom, although it appears as though it is coming from an external source, it's really that inner wisdom. It's that inner resilience, and it's that inner knowingness that you possess. So when it says channel clearly, it is not just the channeling of the wisdom from source energy. It's like really channeling clearly that which is rising up from your heart. Because the truth, like, oh, the truth of the matter is, guys, that which rises up from your heart is source energy. It is that higher good that you're meant to be serving. And sometimes it does require you to set some boundaries. And that doesn't mean they're forever boundaries. They could be temporary boundaries. But sometimes you have to say, in order for me to do the highest good in the world right now, I need X, Y, and Z. Okay. And in the guidebook, I always love to check the guidebook to get not only the messages that come through for me when I check out a card, but I like to get what the author's intention was or is. And so it says, you will always be inspired to the highest and best use of your mind and heart by the things that move you. Pay attention to what makes you laugh and what makes you cry. These are the areas associated with your greatest gifts and talents. Always ask the question, who and what does my intellect serve? Our bodies work best when our minds and our hearts work in harmony with our highest purpose. These messages are complete. I'm hearing like I don't even need to add any extra wisdom to that because you got it. You got it loud and you got it clear. The only thing I will follow up with is that, again, I feel like this week's collective energy is really calling for some really specific individualized messages. And so I really encourage and invite you to reach out at thejoyhealer.com. You can always drop a message or a comment for me here, and let's see if we can get you the messages that you need to help you move forward into this new thing that you're being called towards this week. Okay. I love you so much. I appreciate you being here, and I shall certainly be back next week for another weekly energy reading. I love you guys. Namaste. Bye.